Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cooking Hayden's. Let's get the microphone a bit closer. Sorry. Oh, bloody hell. It's all going Pete Tong already. I hope you're all doing well. Yeah, I'm messed up. I'm messed up at the start. Yeah, I hope you're doing well. I'm Car Boot Chris. I forgot my name. Everything's gone out the window. If you're new here, I am a full-time reseller. And I attempt to do a bit on YouTube, and yeah, sometimes it goes Pete Tong like that did. Okay. Today we are talking a little bit about cross-listing. And, you know, do you have, is it at a point now with so many platforms, eBay's coverage is shrinking a bit? You know, their domination of the second-hand market and the reselling world is shrinking. So do we really have to seriously consider doing lots of cross-listing now in order to survive, basically? And that's my big question of the day. But before we get into it, let's see who we've got in the chat. Welcome, everybody, anyway. Steve Jackson's here. Hi, Steve. First one in. Jeff is here as well. Leanne, I remember that live stream. Oh, with the ice. Yeah. Unfortunately, we remember it too. That was back in our Modbury house. There's so many houses lately. I can't even remember things anymore. Jeff says that may have been the same live stream that had Seymour Butts in it. You know what? Right. The more I think about it, the more I think that that person might have been Jeff, because Jeff's got a little Jeff's got so many alter egos. It would not surprise me if that was Jeff playing a bit of a joke on us back in the early days. UK Dumpster Kings. Yeah, that's how it comes out, Martin. I'm guessing that's emojis. That is why it comes out on StreamYard. But thank you and welcome, Martin. Good to have you on. Oh, by the way, loved the palette video. I mean, that was a good addition. That it's good. Good to branch out a little bit. And I enjoyed it. I watched it from the first minute till the end, basically. Didn't skip any of it. I was intrigued to see what you got and what you were going to do with it. Monkey Thrift is here. Oh, Monkey Thrifter spotted it straight away. Yeah. CJ is back from a charity shop run. Time to list. Hope all are okay today. That's good. At least it sounds like you bought something, unless you're just listing other stuff. But at least you found some stuff. Limelight Vint is here. The Tap Peddler Derek. M's Den. Hi, guys. Phil is here as well. Yeah. You got to see the funny side. It's had quite a lot of views on the old short. Fluffy Muffin sat down with a nice cuppa, hiding from life's responsibilities. Oh, you got to face up to them at some point. But you can do it after this hour. AMPR's here. Chris Tyler, welcome. Bills and Moon. Nicola, welcome. Josh 34. The weather for the next 2 weekends is looking great. Oh, excellent, Josh. I've not even looked, to be honest with you. The last couple of weeks, well, last weekend, the weekend before we was away, but this weekend just gone was great, wasn't it? Well, it was down here anyway. I don't know about everywhere else, to be fair. But yeah, I'm so glad that the warm weather's here. I mean, look, I'm in t-shirts again, even in the house. And normally I'm sat with a dressing gown on. So t-shirt weather is back. I love it. Thank you, Fluffy. Yeah, reminding people to hit the like button. Hit the like button. Even though we've only just started, you know it's going to be good anyway. Yaz, I was at the Crosslist point last year. Yeah, people have. I've been cross-listing on and off for a while now. Sometimes I go into it head first, and then I have a period of not doing any. And I think when you look at the platforms that are coming out now, more and more platforms, eBay's reach is still massive, and eBay's still the biggest platform, for secondhand. I'm discounting Amazon because it's a different beast, but eBay is still the biggest and the biggest reach. But with more and more platforms coming into the UK, especially, you have to consider whether you need to be cross-listing and picking one or two other platforms. I'm not saying we might as well get into it, and I'll catch up with the chat. I'm not saying that you have to list on all of them, because if you spread, I think, in my opinion, if you spread too thinly and go as on like 5 or 6 different platforms, unless you really committed to doing it or you've got some help to do it, you could end up spreading too thinly and then every platform not getting enough of your attention. So for me, eBay will always be the number one. I'll always put most of my time into eBay, but then Poshmark's just come out. I've been doing a lot on Whatnot lately. There's Etsy, Depop, and Vinted, and you have to consider which ones are the most suitable for what you want to do, what you sell. I would say at the moment, maybe 3 platforms. Pick 3 and put as much effort as you can into 3. If you start going above that, if you've not got help, then I think that you could spread yourself too thin and then end up getting very little out of all of them. But yeah, just keep talking in the chat. Let me know what your thoughts are on this whole cross-listing thing, and whether you think eBay, they're definitely not being left behind. They're still massive. They're still number one. But all these platforms coming out, they must be eating away at eBay's share of the market. They must be taking a piece of the pie. So if you want a piece of it, you've probably got to get in there, haven't you? Hi, Resell and Gaming, welcome. Is that a new name that I've noticed there? I don't know. You know what? I said before, Tesco roller cola is crap. And I picked it up by accident on the last shop because I forgot. I thought it was Asda, but it's not. It's Tesco. And it's disgusting. I'm going to have to drink it now. Yeah, smooth. Not smooth. I don't know what happened there. I was all set. I was sat for about 5 minutes before the stream, set to go. And then when I hit live, everything just left my brain. Cross list to survive because you've been hacked. I don't know what you mean, Resell. I'm not sure what you mean there. Hi, Kevin from Florida. Hi, Damien. The Monkey Thrifter says, I've delayed the Fleetwood Jumble Trail till 2:15 this afternoon. Forgot about Chris's live stream. What you mean? Didn't you already go to a Jumble Trail? Oh, you mean a video? Oh, you've done the video. Oh, right. Cool. Well, when we're done here, everybody head over to Monkey Thrifter and watch his video. We'll be done about 2. If you want to schedule it for 2, Peter, we'll send everybody over at 2 o'clock. Everyone's got to go over and watch the Jumble Trail video. Shaba, welcome. CJ says I've been selling really well on Vinted this week. Maybe eBay made eBay look silly. That's what you mean, isn't it? That's good. It's good that you've got some extra sales there that you might not have had if you didn't cross list. Paul and Maria opening up their own library with all these books. No, they bought a lot of books, didn't they? A lot of books. Hi, Mr. Crummy. Can't say I've ever been big into books, and that's what I commented on their video. Kind of like, I've never got into it. The problem, I think the problem with picking up books from charity shops is that by the time they hit the shelf in a charity shop, and this isn't all the time, of course, my impression is by the time it gets to a shelf on a charity shop, it's already been through the process of being scanned for Amazon, scanned for Zipfit, and all that stuff. So I think the chances of you picking up quality books in charity shops these days are slim, but definitely not impossible, because not everything gets scanned and Zipfited before hitting the shop. Like when I used to work for a charity, I know that if a customer comes into that specific shop with a pile of books, that it might not necessarily get scanned at all. They might just get put straight out on the shelf, and that's when you can get lucky. But there's some charities that will take donations, but it will never hit the shop until it's been scanned to be checked. So I think the way that Emsden did their video and their process was that they decided to opt for an auction to get books. Maybe a better way to do it, although you could end up with a lot of dead wood. But they had a good result. But yeah, that's what I think anyway. Ice wasn't me. Are you sure, Jeff? Are you sure? Hi, Peter. Let's get down the chat a bit. Let's get down. Kimmy Kitty, afternoon. Listening and working, welcome. Tea Cakes is here. Good afternoon to you. David Dowling, welcome. Afternoon. Thanks, Chris. Yes, thought it would be nice to try something new. The next palette is even better. That video. Looking forward to that one, Martin. Yeah, I saw that you had 2 palettes, so yeah, look forward to the next one. Tam and Bell's here. Let's see who else we've got. The other item has more raunchy items in it. Oh, interesting. Hi, Karen. Welcome. Is that a new name? If it is, welcome to the channel and the show. If there's any newbies watching who's never watched before and never commented, put a comment in. We'll say hello. Darren Hawkins. Welcome, Darren. eBay still does well. Of course it does. eBay's still great. I mean, I'm doing all right on eBay at the minute. But on top of that, I mean, my numbers on eBay are quite good at the moment, even though I'm also reducing the amount of listings I have, but I'm making my listings better quality than what they were before. I've got rid of a lot of dead wood. I've bundled a lot of things. So where things were low value, I've took them down and I've bundled them together. Remember all those movie photos that I got? Well, they were really slow, and I think they were clogging up my eBay store a little bit. I was really hoping for a bit of a score on them, and I'm already well into profit on them. I've sold quite a lot of single ones, but I've been left with quite a lot that just weren't selling, and also a big pile that I'd not even listed. So what I decided to do was create bundles, and I did bundles of like 30, 40 and 50 photos. And one guy bought 3 bundles, and it's got to go out next week, actually. He's asked me to delay posting it. bought 3 bundles, like something around £95. So those 3 bundles earned me more than what it cost me for all the photos, if you remember. So it was definitely a good exercise. I took down every individual listing. They were getting down to sort of £5 a photo, and I took them all down because they was such low value. They were becoming low value, and they were becoming sticky stock, and that's not good for your eBay store. So I took them all down, and I did big bundles of them. I had so many of those photos that even when you bundle them and each item works out at £1 a time, I was still making some good money on it. If you remember, there was probably about 500 photos in there, and I think I paid about £70-80 for them. So very low value per piece. So yeah, but yeah, that. So what I was saying was, even though I've drastically reduced the number of items in my store, I think I've got 1,100 now instead of 1,500. My eBay sales are going really well, and I'm doing other platform sales as well. Whatnot's been going well, and some other platforms. So yeah, that's good. That's good. And I do think that now's the time that if you've not cross-listed anything, maybe you should consider it. Maybe you should consider looking at one of the other platforms and having a go, because I'm just concerned that eBay's share, even though it's still the biggest, it's smaller than it used to be. Pete's Retro Collectibles, welcome. Matt Sell Stuff, hi. Oh, nice one, Chris. Bloody hell, you got them quick. When did I send them? I only posted them yesterday. You got them next day. That's excellent. And thank you so much for all your purchases. Hi, Laura on Facebook. Let's get down this chat a bit. Pete said, I hate having a fractured focus when I was a player on Amazon, eBay. Yeah, this is the problem. This is what you have to be really careful of, is that whatever your main platform is that you don't neglect it too much. I can't speak this afternoon. I don't know. See, I don't know what time of day it is. I can't even speak today. But yeah, it is an issue. And sometimes when like this morning, I spent about an hour cross-listing some stuff over onto Poshmark. And that's an hour that I wasn't operating on eBay, which is eBay is still the biggest platform. So you kind of, yeah, you do have to be careful that you don't do it like all day long. I wouldn't do it all. I wouldn't sit and list on Poshmark all day long and leave eBay alone, because that means my sales will take a dip on eBay. So I just do them in small chunks. I might spend an hour doing it, and then I'll move back to eBay. And then the next day I'll spend another hour doing something else somewhere. But I'll do the rest of the day on eBay. So yeah, that's kind of how I operate. Matt Sell Stuff says, I'd rather cross-dress than cross-list. Well, give it a go, Matt. You might enjoy it. No judgments here. Yaz says, exactly, if you spread too thin cross-listings, you neglect some and can forget the... Yeah, unless you're using software. If you're paying for things like Zipsale, if you pay for like the higher end packages, they will auto delist on certain platforms. There are some other cross listings out there. Damien says, a lot of platforms that are new to the UK have been around in the US much longer, and there are plenty of resellers make a good living just on eBay still. Cross listing may help, but isn't necessary. Yeah, possibly. I just tend to think that eBay's still, like I said earlier, Damien, eBay's still the biggest, like 90% share or whatever it is, if you think about the numbers. But it must be affecting them. The fact that Poshmark is just coming out and everybody's flocking over to there, they've all got £20 to spend. And Poshmark, I mean, you think 2 years ago, since then, in the last 2 years, we've got Poshmark, Whatnot, Vinted. I don't know when Depop came out, but It's been around a little bit longer than that. Etsy's been around longer. But we've got all these platforms now, these alternatives to what was the main man, eBay. So I think if you're just disregarding cross-listing completely and saying, I'm just going to focus on eBay, that's fine. But you could be missing opportunities. That's what I'm just saying, you could be missing opportunities. Not necessarily, but you could be. And is it something worth considering? Afternoon, Jack of all trades. Tom and Bell's never cross-listed anything yet. Fix it, Tommy Lee said, I would cross-list more if most of them weren't all clothes and shoes. I don't sell any of those. Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. Bells and Moon Nicholas says, I think if buyers start to see the same listings with the same pictures on different sites, they will think it's a waste of time and just stick to the site that's best for them. That's a fair point, Nicola, yeah. It is a fair point. And something that I would be guilty of myself. Because if you're going to cross-list, you're not going to take new photos. So you're just going to use the same photos, probably the same title and probably a similar description. I mean, my descriptions on eBay, I won't, when I cross-list, I don't use the whole description because some of it's eBay specific, but I use most, like maybe half of it is the same. Yeah, but there's a danger of that, is that you start seeing the same stuff. And I've already seen it on Poshmark, but I'm guilty of it myself because I've used the same pictures on Poshmark. But I've also seen other people, I've seen the same style of picture on there. And it makes sense because you're not going to redo it. To survive, I've no intention of spreading out to other platforms. Whatever works for you, Damien. You know, that's a personal decision for you. If you feel that that's the way to go, then go for it. All I'm saying is it can be worth considering. And if you've considered it and decided it's not for you, then that's absolutely fine. I'm just putting it out there in the universe. Is it worth considering? I mean, for example, right, I signed up with Whatnot, and it was a good decision because it's taken up some more of my time. It's taken up a bit of time off eBay, but every time I've done a Whatnot show, it's earned me more in those 2 hours than eBay for the whole day. And what have I done on Whatnot? How many shows? I've done about 8 shows. No, I haven't. I'll tell you now how many. I mean, if I had not have picked up Whatnot and run with it and had a go at it, I would not have had a single penny of what I've earned on there. This is completely extra than what I was doing before. How many shows have I done? And I'll tell you how much I've earned on Whatnot that I would never have got because this stuff would have just been sat elsewhere. How many shows? Past shows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've done 7 shows, and I've done around an average of about £250 to £300 a show, and that's per week. So let's say 250 and be conservative and on an average. So that's about what, 1,500? 4, 5, 6. 1,500, £1,700 for 7 shows. That's money I wouldn't have had if I hadn't have tried it. And it's a different kind of platform. It's not the same as eBay. It's not the same as Etsy and Vinted and all that. It's a completely different ball game. But there you go. That's extra money. And if I do a Whatnot show once a week for the foreseeable future, and maybe I don't even do 250. Maybe I do £200 in a Whatnot show. That's £800 a month. And you multiply that across the year. And Whatnot's very small at the moment in the UK. When Whatnot builds up, And I've got very few followers. Most of the followers, probably 50%, 60% of the followers that I have currently are all people who know me through YouTube and eBay and stuff. But as it grows and more people go on there, it should get better. If you're a clothing only seller, then cross-listing makes more sense, as most of the other platforms are clothing first and foremost. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, same as what Fixit says. You know, he's doing a lot of electronics, obviously, and it's a bit more tricky to find platforms. And you got Etsy, maybe even Vinted. You know, if you're willing to do it. Yeah, clothing, shoes, accessories is easier to cross-list, definitely. Chris is fluffing for the monkey thrifty. Yeah, why not? I'll send people over. I'll watch it myself, Peter, when I'm done. Leanne says I sell lots of book bundles and singles. Best sale so far was a textile book I paid 50p for. Sold it for £50. That's nice. That's nice. Thanks, Chris. I've kept it at 415. 215 in case you go over. Okay, that's fine. A few weeks ago, I walked into a charity shop just as they were putting out a lot of folio books. I said, "What do you want for them all?" 25 in total. We agree 110. Oh, that's all right, NPR. Yeah, you walked in there at the right time, didn't you? The thing with folio, right? Some of them are not worth loads. Like folio, it's mostly the box sets, unless you get something unusual. Because I've looked at a few. Like I've seen a few in charity shops, like singular ones, and I've checked them out before buying them. And actually, like some of them are like £10 books, and that's fine if you pay 50p. But most of the time, the folios are, you know, they're at least a few quid. Hopefully, you got more box sets. 14 sold so far for great profit. That's good. But I know a lot of the singular folios, like everyone automatically thinks that folio is worth mega money. But the singular folios, you got to be careful. You got to make sure you check them. Probably the box sets I would probably just pick up as long as it weren't too expensive. But yeah, the singles worth checking. Shabba says, time for me to go through inventory this week. I have 126 items under £5. Need to bungle or donate. Yeah, I've been doing the same, Shabba. Let me just have a look on my eBay a minute, and I'll tell you something that is completely different from my eBay store that in the past has not been like this. Right, if I go onto my listings, let me go into price order. And this is just me. This is just what I'm trying to do at the moment. My lowest priced item right now is an Art Deco glass dish for £7.99. Other than that, I've got about 5 items at £8.99. And then everything else in my store at the moment is £9.99 or above. So I've literally cut out everything that is under £9.99. And those few items that are at that price at the moment, they'll be gone soon as well. Yeah, I don't want to list anything right now that's that's under £9.99. £9.99 is my bottom listing price at the minute. And also, I'm turning over things a lot quicker because I'm reducing prices and I'm editing listings a lot sooner than I used to. I'm at the 2. I do change this quite a bit, but at the moment I'm working on 2 months. So when an item gets to 2 months, I am relisting. I'm sell similar. Actually, at the minute I'm working on sell similar, and I changed the title and I changed the price. They're the 2 things that I change. I always think that you must change that title. You've got to change it round. Switch some words around. Add in a new word just so the eBay algorithms feel like it's a new title that you're putting in. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but it seems to be working. I'm moving things quicker. Like if something gets to 2 months and I've had it on for £30, when it gets to the 2 month mark, I'd put the price at 25. And I keep going like that until it sells, because stuff will sell eventually. Tyler says, Chris, do you have a Poshmark referral code? I've only got, for some reason, I've only got a £5 referral code. So in the interest of transparency, you might want to go look for a £20 referral code, Tyler, because there's loads of them out there. There's a few people offering them. I think Sophie SB's got one. Maybe Peter Ray might have one. I'm not sure. I've seen a few referral codes floating around, but for some reason, my account's only showing a £5 referral code. But go and get a £20 one, because it's worth an extra 15 quid. So it's better than my £5 one. Dumpster Divers, Dumpster King, sorry. I've always sold multiple outlets, eBay, Facebook, car boots, even use auctions now, and never put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah. Yeah, fair point. Tap Peddler says, I do cross list to Etsy, do well on that. I do Facebook Marketplace, but don't sell much. I'd like to replace that with somewhere else. Yeah, you know what? Don't really list on Facebook. The only time we list on Facebook is normally for personal things that, you know, are too big to do anything with. Although I sell some stuff to the US, GSP is prohibitive to most buyers. So now I appear on many US live streams to make an impression and perhaps get some private sales, my new project. Ah, interesting, Phil. So basically you're prostituting yourself out on other channels, is that right? Scott on Facebook, welcome. Come over to YouTube, it's a bit easier to do your comments. Who do you use for postage? Mostly Every, but I've been using Royal Mail 24 and 48 a lot more recently for higher value stuff. Tap Peddler says, I think if my eBay account goes down, and we all know it can happen easily without fault, Etsy will pay my bills till it's sorted. Yeah, that is a good point. It's always a big worry, isn't it? It's always a big worry. You see it happen, and it is concerning. Definitely. You forgot eBay gum. It's a bit like what Damien said, Simon. The other platforms only relevant and sell clothes, but you can list other stuff on them. I mean, if you're willing to try Vinted, I mean, Vinted has all kinds of stuff on it. Etsy has, well, rightly or wrongly, Etsy does have other stuff on it, and also like vintage and you know, crafty stuff, electronics. So you can list other stuff. It's not just clothing. And I'm pretty sure Poshmark will eventually branch out all their categories as well. Tap Peddler says I sold £180 worth of stuff on Etsy today. eBay's 93. I'd be at 93 if I just did eBay. Well, you could say that, Derek, but is it the same stuff on Etsy that is also listed on eBay? Because then I would say I would agree with you. But if you've listed stuff separately on Etsy that you've not got on eBay and they've sold, then if you were just on eBay, you would have listed that stuff on eBay. So it might have sold. But I'm going to make the assumption that everything that you've got on Etsy is also on eBay. And in which case, your comment is valid. Comments are always valid. I'm just saying. We've noticed that eBay's changed a lot over the last few years, so I've started cross-listing to Etsy and Depop, and we'll start Poshmark this week. Oh, good luck, guys. Good luck. I've seen recently that you've been trying out Zipsale and stuff. How are you finding Zipsale? People have mixed thoughts on it. I've started using it again recently, and it can be very useful, but there's no Poshmark on there at the minute, which is a bit of a pain. Who is the most successful platform for cross-listing stuff after eBay? That's personal to whatever you sell, Scott. So if you're, it depends. Depop, every platform has its own little like audience or demographic or type of product. Like Depop is for a bit more young and trendy stuff, you know, sportswear and stuff like that. Etsy's aimed at vintage craft, things like that, handmade. Poshmark at the minute is mainly clothing. Vinted is meant to be for personal sellers only. So if you're going to list on there, be careful. But on Vinted at the minute, you can list a whole variety of stuff. You can list toys, clothing, electronics, games, vintage, whatever. You can list almost anything on Vinted right now. What else? eBay Gum. You can list everything you want on eBay Gum. People making sales left, right, and center. That's a joke. Tea Cakes has said an hour cross-listing, an hour delisting, an hour swapping between channels and getting addresses, etc. for something that will sell on eBay anyway. Can't see the point. Different audiences though, Tea Cakes. There are different audiences. It doesn't take an hour to delist, by the way. And it doesn't take an hour to swap between channels to get addresses and things. But yeah, an hour cross-listing, I'll take that one. Limelight's, I don't know how far behind I am in the chat, by the way. When you cross-list, are all the items listed at the same price, so you can set a different... Oh, you set whatever price you want, Limelight. Yeah. It depends. You could, like, if you were to cross-list to Vinted, you might sell the item cheaper on Vinted because there's no fees that come out of the amount. But if you sell it on Poshmark, Poshmark's 20%. So you might want to put a little bit extra on Poshmark. I don't know. It depends. It boils down to whether you've got profit in it and how much profit you've got in there as to what the price is, or you can just do the same price. Tap Peddler's got an interesting analogy there. One rod in a pond, you can catch one fish. Fish, put 3 rods in the pond, you can get 3 fish. But if you put 3 rods in, Derek, then you might put the fish off because they're going to know, aren't they? They're going to know that there's 3 rods, whereas one they might not notice, but they might see 3 rods. The 1,700 from Whatnot, is that in sales or YouTube money? YouTube money. Now you confuse me. No, it's just sales on Whatnot. That's just sales on Whatnot that I would not have had previous. 100%. I think I need to get on Whatnot. Do you have a video for it? I've not done a video on it, to be honest. I've talked about it on a few videos. And yeah, I've done a couple of videos, CJ. You could go back and have a look where I've talked about Whatnot and stuff. But I don't think I've done a specific one. I might have done a sales roundup or something like that. Lots of people talking about rods and fishermen now. Mrs. Love's here. Welcome. Right, I'm going to try and get down to the bottom. Yeah. 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 You've got to love a £1 fish, haven't you? Fly Fishing by J.R. Hartley. I think they might have reduced it down now. I think they might have only given a certain number of £20 codes out. Yeah, and then they've obviously it's £5 now. Oliver, welcome. I figured I had to try at least one because of the intro. Try what? What? A show? Well, welcome, Oliver, anyway. It's good to have you on board. Let's have a look. As always, depends. Yeah, 100% depends what you sell. If you're an everything seller like me, you know, clothing, shoes, toys, games, everything and anything, then I think it's worth considering, definitely. But yeah, if you're in a niche, then you have to choose the right or not at all. It's the same stuff across both. Right. Well, in that case, then, Derek, you gave a good example of how even though you've got all that stuff on eBay, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to sell it on eBay. Like I think TK said before, like, you know, why bother? Because everything, if it's sellable on eBay, just put it on eBay. But then Derek gave a great example of he's got that stuff on eBay, it didn't sell, but the same stuff sold on Etsy because it's different audiences. People, not everybody actually goes on eBay. Some people are like focused on other platforms. You know, our Annabelle's two lads, they are in their early 20s. They don't shop on eBay. They don't shop on eBay. They don't go on eBay. They're in their early 20s, but they're probably an exception to a rule, you know. But I think, you know, there's different platforms for different people. Some people hate eBay, some people love it. Most people will know eBay and be willing to shop on it, but not everybody is. CJ says sold a few action figures on Vinted. It seems to be more and more choice on there. There's a lot of choice on there, yeah. Then enjoying using Zipsale to cross-listed Depop. Very quick. I just cross-list myself. I was an early trial of Zipsale, but just 2 platforms. I can deal with it myself. Yeah, fair enough. Can you use Zipsale to cross-list stuff you already have on eBay? 100%. Yes, you can, Tam. Yeah, and that's the way I use it. I don't use it, right? What you can do with Zipsale is a couple of ways you can work it. You can either create a listing on Zipsale and then ping it to the different channels, right? You can do that like a new listing. You can create it on Zipsale and you can go, right, where do you want to list it? Vinted, Depop, eBay, Facebook, right? You can tell it to go to all of those. The only thing is, when you create a new listing, it creates a base listing that's suitable for everywhere. But then you have to go to each platform, not to the platform itself, but you have to go to the Zipsale page for each platform and just tweak it a bit because everyone has different little options and different item specifics. So you have to do a couple of little tweaks for each platform before you get it on there. And it's pretty quick. It's not, you know, it's not difficult. It's fast. But that's one way that you can list on Zipsale. The other way is you can import your eBay items. And that's what I tend to do is you import automatically. It brings in, it'll show you like your most recent 50 eBay items. And you can tick which ones you want to import to Zipsale. Once you've imported them to Zipsale, then you can say, right, I want to list all those items to, I don't know, Depop and Etsy. Right, and you select those two. You do those couple of little tweaks because of the different, you know, variations that each channel has, and then bang, it's on there. It's very quick. You know, it takes. I think you can pull an item in from your eBay, right? If you're going to do one item, let's say you're going to import one item from eBay and put it on Vinted, right? Takes about, you can do it in, go through it, change a couple of little bits, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, you can have that item on the other platform. Pretty quick. Sorry. Phone ringing. So yeah, it can be quick, but I tend to do it like that. I import from eBay and then move them across. I don't list from scratch on Zipsale. It's just, I always start with eBay, so I might as well just list on eBay and then import it in. Mrs. Love says eBay works best for her. That's fine. Absolutely good. Yeah, if that's what you want to do. Dave Repairs isn't here. Pokey Guy says, anyone having issues with Poshmark with shipping labels? Can't seem to stop the postie coming the following day with another shipping label after I've already printed out the label and posted it. I can't answer that one, Pokey Guy. I've not sold anything on Poshmark yet. Up until yesterday, I only had one item listed. And this morning, I spent an hour and I think I've got about 20 items on Poshmark. Something like that. Thanks, Pete's Retro. CJ, I mean, are you on the camera and whatnot when you sell? You can be if you want to. I go front facing like I do on YouTube and whatnot, and I show an item. I do a 30-second auction, bang, sold. Fingers crossed if people are interested in it. But sometimes, like this week, I wasn't in front facing. I was doing something a bit different here on this wall. I was doing walls, what they call. So I wasn't front facing, but you can do either. But it depends what you sell. Like if you're selling like Pokemon cards and trading cards, you tend not to be front facing. You tend to just see your hands and stuff. But if you're selling like toys and plushies, you tend to be front facing. Ian G, welcome. More fish analogies. Definitely different people on Etsy than eBay. Liam says, I've literally just set up a Poshmark. Oh, good luck with it. I hope you go okay with it. Mr. Crumb is selling a car boot this week. Good luck with your boot sale. Hope you sell loads of stuff. Raina is in. Welcome. New name, I see there. Those tweaks. This is my query. By the time I've done that, I could have just cut and pasted it over. Most of my listings are from sell similar on my own items, which speeds it up. Ah, fair enough, Derek. Yeah. It's got quicker when we were, because you and me were both doing that like beta testing with Zipsale in those early days. It's a lot quicker now than what it was back then. They've really smoothed it out a bit. There's only, and when I say tweaks, it's only a couple of things you have to put in. Very, very quick. Great discussion. Question from Emsden. If something has been cross-listed using Zipsale, when you want to do a relist on eBay, do you have to end it on Zipsale? No, you don't. Once it's gone over to the platform that you've sent it to, that's it. Then it belongs on that platform. Yeah, if you're paying the premium for Zipsale, it will only delist if it gets sold. So, yeah. Although I'm not on premium at the minute anyway on Zipsale, but yeah, I've ended items and it doesn't end. So, yeah. As far as I'm aware, unless there's a sale comes in on that item, it won't auto delist it. You could ask that to Zipsale if you want to be 100% sure. Haggis Love is here. I'm at the bottom of the chat. Yeah, just going back to that question. I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter what you do with the item on eBay. It kind of lives its own life on the other platform, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the answer is. Because I've done loads of ending and sell similar and relisting, and it hasn't affected any of my cross-listed items. Well, we're at the bottom. What time? We're on 50 minutes. It's a good old chat. It's always good to have a chat about these things, right? Because everyone's got different opinions, and that's perfect, because I'm not sure anyone's right or wrong on it. You know, I'm just putting it out there and saying, is it worth you thinking about it? And if you're saying yes, great. And if you're saying no, great. Because it's good to think about the pros and cons. Maybe somebody in the chat, myself or someone in the chat, says something you haven't thought about, and it might make you think maybe I should do it or maybe I shouldn't do it. So yeah, it's worth thinking about, definitely. But has eBay's audience decreased a bit? Yeah, probably has a little bit. Having said that, I'm doing better on eBay than I have for a while. But I'm in the mode of streamlining my eBay at the moment. I'm cutting the dead wood, and I think it's helping. I've cut out, like I said before, I've cut out almost everything that's under $9.99 has gone from my store. I've donated it. I've bundled it, taken it down. I might have sold it off cheap. So everything under that price is pretty much gone. It doesn't mean that I won't sell items for less than $9.99. I will. If I've got something up for $9.99 and someone offers me £8 or £7, I might still sell it. That's not the point. I just don't want to list something from scratch for less than $9.99 on eBay. And for me, I think it's working. My average sale price has gone up. I think my average sale price for the last, when was it last checked? Let me have a look. I've been hovering around £21 for about 2 years, like really hard to get it above that. What's my most recent one? Let's work it out if I can't see it anywhere. Let's work it out. I know this has helped my average sale price as well. Let's do that. Let's do that. My average sale price right now is almost £27. And that's the most it's ever been, ever. And I think it's helping that I'm streamlining my eBay. I had 1,500 items just a couple of months ago. I've now got 1,100. I want to get to 1,000 and kind of hover around 1,000. But I want those items to be decent quality, not low value. That's the difficult part, is walking past items that you know will sell even for like a few quid. It's difficult, like not picking them up. Don't forget the thumbs up, says Monkey Thrifter. Kez18 has popped in. Anthony Walt is in. Welcome, everybody. We're going to wrap it up in about 5 or 10 minutes. Monkey Thrifter's got a video out of his jumble trail in Fleetwood. Mr. Crummy says, my average for the last 7 days is £34. That's nice. Yeah, for the last 90 days, my that was, by the way, those numbers, nearly £27 average sale price was for over the last 90 days. I reckon if I do it in a month's time, fingers crossed, that might have gone up a little bit, because 3 months ago, I'd only just started my clear out. I'd only just started it. So that might even be improved even further. It would be great to get to a £30 average sale price. It really would. That'd be a real achievement for me, that. Let me try and find my last 7 days. What was my average sale price for the last 7 days? It's here somewhere. I just got to find it. Reports. Right, here we go. Custom. 7 days. 7 days. Here we go. Average sale price the last 7 days, £35.55p. So that's good. That's really good. Let's try 31 days then. Last 31 days. Average sale price last 31 days, £29.87. That's up. Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm saying. That's up from the previous time period, 25%. So I think my clearing out and putting better items in my store has definitely paid dividends with that number. And then, of course, 90 days. Oh, the app's telling me a different number, but 90 days is coming out at £25 on the desktop and nearly £26 on the app. But either way, still much better. I don't know if I can maintain a what was that? £35.55 average sale price for the last 7 days. I don't know if I can maintain that, but I'd like to do £30. But at the moment, £26 is better than I've had. So I'm pleased with the way that's going. Retro and toys, welcome. What advice would you give to a new buyer, reseller, YouTuber? Oh, crikey. As far as YouTube goes, I would say, if I'm assuming you're doing like reselling and that, stick to the same subject matter. You know, don't have a mixed channel. If your channels are all about retro and toys, which I assume it is, then stick to retro and toys. Don't deviate, because all it does is confuse YouTube. YouTube doesn't know when to promote your item. Thumbnails and titles are absolutely vital on YouTube. Absolutely vital, 100%. You've got to get an amazing thumbnail, an amazing title, because you've got to compete when someone's browsing or doing a search. Maybe someone's searching retro toys. Just search retro toys on YouTube. See what comes up in your results. Have a look at all the thumbnails and think, how can I stand out in that? You've got to be bang on with your thumbnail and your title. And also make sure your channel is specific to what you want. Not like Cookie and the Haydens. We do all sorts on here, and it hurts us on our YouTube channel. We've got over 10,000 subs, but it's taken us a long time to get there. But it hurts us. Whenever I put out a video that's not my core thing is reselling. Whenever I put a video out that's not reselling, it hurts the channel. So I would say that for YouTube. Reselling wise, I would say reinvest everything that you can into keep buying more stock. Keep reinvesting it. Don't take any money out for yourself unless you have to. Go as long as you can without taking any money out for yourself, and just reinvest. Time Bell's got a new video out 5 o'clock. Everybody, 27 over the last 90 days, says Mr. Cumming. Very similar numbers there to what I'm doing at the minute. Jeff says, I'm not sure I could list enough items if my average was under £10 to make it worth my time. Would need to list 100 a day. Yeah. You'd really, if your average sale price is less than £10, I think you would struggle unless you're doing massive quantity, Jeff. Like if you're a seller like Music Magpie, selling mostly, a lot of low value DVDs and games and stuff. If you sell them in enough quantity, and those kind of things are very quick to list, then you can do it. Ian says, I think that the upturn could be due to lower energy bills, as a lot of people have their heating off now. I never had any bloody heating on, Ian. Jeff says the AI thumbnail for next Monday's live stream looks cool. Thanks, Jeff. It's actually made by AI. I use one of these AI apps to make me 2 images of me and Belle. So that's coming up. We're coming up to the hour now, so we'll start wrapping up. But Monday night stream is all about AI and how we can, or if we can, use it in our reselling world. I'd love to hear some examples of how you utilize the current trend of AI, which seems to be growing by the day. You know, it's AI everything. You know, up to a few months ago, we weren't even talking about AI stuff, you know, but all of a sudden it's AI. So that's what we're going to talk about Monday night. And I'm really looking forward to the chat because it's really interesting, but a bit scary at the same time because, you know, it feels like some of the stuff that AI is doing right now, all of a sudden out of nowhere, you know, it could just mean the end of some people's skills as well. But that's for Monday night's chat. So have a think about AI and how we can talk about it, how we can utilize it. Hi, Husties. Retro on Toys, thanks for your advice. Only 10 subscribers, but yeah, well, everyone starts with 10. You got to go past 10 to get to 100. You got to go past 100 to get to 1,000. So keep going. Yeah, but keep it specific, right? And when you find a video that works, one that gets promoted by YouTube, jump on it, realize why it's different, and do more of them. Husty says my average sale price is around £50. That's great, Husty. That's brilliant. Nice. Don't forget movie chats tonight at 7:15 p.m. Right. I'm going to get to the bottom of the chat and call it a day, and then we're all going to go and watch the Monkey Thrifter's new video. Phil, my average sale price is well under £10, but I do multi-listings with thousands in stock. Exactly. That's it. It's a completely different business model, isn't it, Phil? Completely different. AI scares me. I know. You know, I was having this chat with Belle earlier today, and it's what kind of inspired me to talk about this on Monday. But it is scary, AI at the minute. And I'll give you an example of something on Monday night that I've been trying out this week with AI. And it's pretty impressive how it gets you an answer like that. I mean, I know you used to be able to Google something, but this gives AI gives a complex and comprehensive result, a comprehensive answer to some things. And, you know, it could put people out of jobs and out of business. People are writing books that AI has written. It's like you can type into an AI thing and say, write me a book on Car Boot Chris that goes to car boot sales and finds an amazing item and sells it on eBay for massive profit. And the bloody thing will write you a whole thing in perfect English in seconds. It's like people are not even going to write books anymore. The next Harry Potter series on TV is going to end up being written by AI. People are also, right, people are putting out like famous people. I don't know if you've seen it like on Twitter and stuff, but some famous people have been putting out like press releases or, you know, quotes and stuff. But people have discovered that they've actually used AI generated answers to do it. That's scary. That is really scary. I think it's going to be a dead interesting stream on Monday night. And I'm interested to know, like, how we can use it for reselling. And will it improve our reselling stuff? Or is it just a gimmick? Oh, what a game. What a game, Johnny, last night. One of the best City games performances I've ever seen in my life as a fan. Let's hope we're not peaked because we've got bigger games to come. You should get your ducks soon. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Husty's, when I click through, my sales conversion is shocking. Mine's bad. Mine's really bad, my sales conversion. But if you promote a lot, I don't know if you do, Husty, but if you promote a lot, that affects your sales conversion rate a lot, because you get a lot of eyes on your item and a lot of people that don't buy. Even though you might make a sale, you get a lot of people that aren't buying. You know, you might get 100 people look at your item because you promoted it, and one person buys, and it kills you. So I don't take a lot of notice of that percentage conversion rate, because I don't think it really tells a proper story, especially if you do a lot of promotions. We're wrapping up in a minute, so head over to this link and you can sit and wait and watch the Monkey Thrifters video. Yeah, lots of cool stuff, but a bit scary as well. Where's it going to go? That's another good question. Where's it going to end? Story sounds like fiction. I know, yeah. A lot of it just comes from Google search. It does, but it's clever how it pulls it together like that. You know, I've tested, I'll talk about it Monday, but I tested this new thing, this new AI tool, and the information it gave me would have taken me hours to work out, and potentially save me so much time. And it's not reselling related, it's just something else. It's just something that just made me think, wow, that's impressive. And this is early days AI. Imagine what we're going to be thrown at with AI in the next few years. It just seems to have gone crazy. Chris, can you do an actual AI demo on the live stream? Yeah, we'll do something. I'll do a share screen and we'll do something. I'll just show you like GTP or one of the other AI things. 50 years from now, Skynet. Very late in, Rosie. We're calling it a day, and then we're all going to watch the Monkey Thrifters video. It ends for us on Judgment Day, yeah. Yeah, exactly that, Jeff. Terminator theme. So yeah, come and join us Monday. We'll call it a day today. Thanks everyone for joining us. Appreciate you coming along. It's been a good old chat. It's always good to talk about these things, see what everyone's opinions are. And yeah, come join us Monday night for the chat on AI. This Saturday we'll have a new boot sale video. Look out for that. Look out for that one. In the meantime, take care. And hang on a minute. Where's my finger, me jiggy gone? There it is. Yeah, Monday night, AI, how will it affect us reselling? How will it affect our lives in general? It's going a bit crazy. Where will it end? Wrong button. Thanks very much for watching, really appreciate it. If you want to catch up on another one of my videos, you can try one like this or one like this. They're both good ones. Give it a go, or you can subscribe by pressing this button here. There you go. See you later.